Opening tip controlled by the Railers, just like Monday night. Christian Van Hook tips it to Jake Olsen. Max Cook goes for the lob quickly on the dunk to Van Hook.
That was easy.
Well, that's the way to get it started.
Yeah, that's a high percentage shot, and I like it. It's a 2.
So quickly the Railers hit the scoreboard. Danville quickly comes back. Jumper missed. Gesner and Van Hook try to get the rebound, but it's tipped over to Cook. Cook along the right sideline now to Olsen. Back over to Max. Max, for a sophomore, I thought did a real nice job on Monday night handling the point of the Railer offense.
Yeah, he's a good ball handler, especially for a sophomore. He uses his body real well.
Olsen hands back to Gesner. Podbelsic between the circles. There's Max down the lane. Kicks it back out to Gesner. Thought about the 3. He's going to drive in. Kicks it over. Pass almost stolen. Out is stolen. Taken away by Cunningham. Cunningham goes in for the easy 2.
Yeah, just a kind of a lazy pass, and again, Danville putting on the pressure, man-to-man pressure, and this is where the Railers got to be able to handle the basketball, pass it, meet your passes, because they will get out and try and guard you.
And a foul out front is going to be whistled on Altez Davis. That will be his first on the team. You know, Josh, one of the things we talk about was free throws. The Railers only took 3 free throws on Monday night. Cahokia, their opponents, only took 7. I don't know if that's a case of the style that Cahokia played or just maybe not enough aggressive play from the Railers because they weren't picking up a lot of fouls, sending people to the line.
I think it was both.
Olsen back to Gesner. Danville in man-to-man. Cook watched by Altez Davis. Gesner between the circles, goes down the left side, back to Olsen. Now Podbelsic spins over to Cook. 6.5 to go, down though. Nice cut by Gesner, didn't have a shot, so he picks the dribble up. Now back on top to Cook, swinging around quickly. Nice ball movement again by the Railers.
Yeah, very crisp, but again, Jeff, we're way out behind.
Gesner on a nice pass from Max Cook, and the no-look at Gesner.
We're really spread. But we're a long way from the basket. And when we go to the basket, we've got good guys. We've got smart guys that can not only cut, but that deliver the right pass at the right time.
Well, Max Cook with this nice assist on both of the Railer baskets here tonight, and Lincoln on top 4-2. Just a couple minutes gone here in the first quarter. Wow. Jumper on the way. That's no good from 3. Rebound tipped around, controlled by Jake Olsen. Yeah. So Danville missing some early shots, and the Railers so far doing a nice job on the board.
Yeah, good job by Max. Box out and going for the rim. Didn't get the rebound, but at least Danville did not.
Olsen thought about taking a 3 in the corner and pull the dribble back out. Cook. Podbelsic on the left side. Will's going to drive in. Pulls his dribble back out before he travels, gets it back over. Max lobs it over to Christian. Christian just inside the 3-point line, left it short off the front of the rim. Rebound down to Altez Davis for the Vikings.
Yeah, good drive by Max, but I'd like to see him just pull up and shoot it or go all the way. He looks to pass first, and he's got the skill to be the aggressor and be a scorer.
Bad pass by Danville's Dennis Hightower, and quickly checking in is Denzel Smith, a 6'3 sophomore. He replaces Altez Davis.
You know, in that last play, Max got 15 foot, 10 foot maybe right there. He's got to pull up and shoot it. He kicks it out for a 3, behind the 3-point line where Cook was, and Van Hook, and he's got to be able to pull up and shoot it or go all the way to the hole.
Christian, top of the key, hands back off to Olsen. Olsen on the dribble, now to Gesner, just in front of the Danville bench. Flips back over to Cook, now to Olsen. Trying to look down low for Christian. Max fakes the 3, gets by his man. Nice move, flips it up. His shot is blocked. Christian tried to retrieve it, but the ball comes down to the hands of Devin McGuire for Danville. And then a foul is going to be whistled. I believe they're going to get Gesner on the push going along the sideline.
Yeah, it almost looked like Max could have, instead of stopping at 15 there, could have gone all the way. He kind of had the guy on his hip. And when you get a guy in your hip, he can never regain if you're going full speed. He can't catch up with you. And I think Max could have right there went all the way to the basket and maybe draw a foul and put a layup in.
Approaching the 4.5-minute mark here in the first quarter. Lincoln on top 4-2. Danville working around the perimeter, looking down low.
Oh,
Jumper on the way. That is no good. And Will Podbelsic's going to be whistled for the foul, and that'll send Dante Ingram to the line shooting 3. And that's one thing we've seen, obviously, one game in the books and not even halfway through the first quarter. Our guards have really made some silly fouls early on. This year. And Podbelsic did a good job of going out to contest the 3, but you can't run into him. You got to leave a shooter alone, and they really protect the shooter while they're up in the air, which they should. But you just can't hit them. First free throw was no good. Second one from Ingram is. Chance to tie it with this free throw. I mean, you know, we talked about being more aggressive, but you don't want to be silly aggressive.
Right. Yeah, there's a point where you're football or you're basketball. There's a lob.
Cook, lob. Good to Christian with the catch. Off the glass. Missed it. Tip try. It's good.
Yeah. That'll work. It works about every time, Jeff. We see about 3 a game. We saw about 3 a game last year, and we saw 3 last game and 1 already this game.
Railers on top 6-3 halfway through the first. Van Hook with 4. Of course, had a career-high 18 points on Monday night against Cahokia. Hightower, watched by Gesner as he comes out. On the bounce, Ingram. He drives in. Little pull-up from 14. Too strong. Cook there for the rebound.
Good job of boxing out by the Railers.
Cook. Watched by Denzel Smith. Over to Olsen on the right wing. Gesner pops out between the circle. Gesner, nice back cut by Podbelsic off the glass and good. Nice cut to the basket. Pod with his first 2 of the night.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to say, I think a lot of back doors could work, Jeff, and Coach calls out the right one at the right time, and we get an easy layup by Pod.
8-3, Railers on top by 5. McGuire, Bullock pass, turnaround from 14. That's too hard. Fight for the basketball. Players hit the floor, and they're going to say last touched by Danville. Couple subs coming in for the Railers. Edward Bowlby in, and also Tommy Harris getting his first action of the season.
Yeah, I think Coach figured out on Monday that we're going to have to play some more guys. The guys got tired, and especially in the third, fourth quarter, and we're going to have to play some more guys. The problem was you get playing a lot of the sophomores, and a lot of people don't realize you only get 3 tournaments as a sophomore or any guy, and you don't want to use a guy 5 minutes in a varsity game and waste a whole tournament when he can play 25 in a sophomore game on a tournament.
Cook with a nice job defensively, cutting off Ingram. Skip pass over the zone. Now down low they get it. Turnaround jumper from the left side is good by Smith. 2:40 to go in the first. Railers still on top by 3, 8-5. Cook over to Harris. High post to Bowlby. Looking down low. Tried to get it to Christian. Bowlby goes down but gets the pass back out to Harris. Olsen. Back to Cook.
He's hanging
drive
on, yeah.
in, and a foul is going to be whistled on Smith. That'll be his first. And Josh, one thing you talked about, we saw Podbelsic's basket earlier. A lot of back cuts available tonight.
Yeah, and you can, and as closely as our guard and as good a ball handlers as our guards have, even if you're not going to go all the way to the hoop, we've got guys that will crash to the basket, and you can pass off or you can kick out. And Mac's a guy that can do both. He can pass and also get to the basket.
Max inbounds to Christian. Didn't have a good look at the basket, so they reset. Cook going to drive in the lane, back out to Olsen. Olsen's 3. That's good.
Max getting right to the middle of the lane. Number 15 cannot guard Max. He's too big, and Max is too fast. And good job.
And not able to stop his feet. Traveling fouled on Denzel Smith. So the Railers do a nice job defensively. And again, so far things going right. But this is kind of the pace we had on Monday night. And now we just have to see if we can keep that conditioning, not get tired, and make Danville play from behind.
Well, and I think we're going to the hoop a little bit better. On Monday, we...
lob play again. It was behind the backboard that Christian caught it, but did a nice job of getting it back. Harris in the right corner. His 3 off the front of the rim, spins out. Cooks gets the rebound and pulls it back out. 1.5 to go in the first. Railers on top, 11-5. We see Matt Hayes off the Railer bench. He'll be checking in just a moment. Olsen in the corner, back now to Cook. Harris, hands off to Bowlby. Down to the right corner. Back on top to Van Hook. Railers, again, very precise and very crisp with their passing and their motion offense.
Almost like the Northwestern offense. Ooh, nice.
Max with a nice move, a little contact, no call, but just getting to the basket.
The Richmond offense that you watched, if you were able to get home after Monday night's game and watch the Illini, Richmond ran a similar, just a lot of basket cuts and a lot of passing right now what the Railers are doing.
Under a minute. 3 on the way. That's up and good. That is Dennis Hightower. Almost looked like a set shot.
Yeah, it was he pushed it from a long way.
So the Railers still up 11-8. Cook handling, It's taken away by Hightower. He goes in for the layup.
Yeah, here we are. You know, and it looks like Max is getting a little winded. He called for a guy to come in, but here right now, being the ball handler, you got to suck it up and get the guys in the offense. Coach will get you out, but you can't get him out without a stoppage of play.
Down to 13 seconds. Railers lead down to 1 at 11-10. Got to watch the 5 count, and Max calls a timeout to save the possession, and just a 30-second timeout. And Josh, we've seen that demeanor before. I think with only 8 seconds to go in the first quarter, I don't think that's the point in the game that the coach was looking to use his first time out.
Well, and we generally don't use them all, but you never know, yes. But it just looked like everybody was standing and watching Max, and the guy was all over him. We were either going to turn it over again or we're going to have to call a timeout. And, nobody else was moving. Everybody was standing and watching Max, and that guy was on him and was going to get a 5 count. And you want to give the ball up, or do you want to call a timeout? And Max, we'll find out if it was a good play in the fourth quarter if we need one, but right now it's better than a turnover.
Well, and the other thing to think about, he is just a sophomore.
Right.
Down to 3. Harris spins top of the key in the lane. Little 12-foot floater. That won't go down, and that's how our first quarter will end. Railers not too bad here in the first 8 minutes. They will end the first quarter with the lead. It's Lincoln 11, Danville 10. We'll be back with the second quarter in 60 seconds. You're listening to Lincoln Railer Basketball.